Welcome back to Oathbound Gaming. I am super happy to be covering this game, Tales of Iron. Let's get started. Now, at the end of this video, we're going to do a pros, cons, and final thoughts, so definitely stick around for that one. And if you like the content at any point during this video, throw us a sub, throw us a upvote, always appreciate that. But we're going to jump in here. We're going to start with our settings. We're super happy to see that we can rebind our controls day one. They have this in the game, and if you guys have been watching any videos on this channel, you know I always tell devs, hey, anyway we can get some keybinds added to this game. If they're missing, I always make sure to bring that up because I think it's very important. It's like that and FOV, depending on the style of game. We need the option to customize, right? Super happy to see this. You can customize your keyboard, mouse and keyboard if you're playing with mouse and keyboard, and of course the controller if you're playing with a controller. I recommend a controller for this one. It's definitely not required. You can play mouse and keyboard, but definitely plays better with a controller. Video settings, nothing quality related. There's no graphics quality, but that's okay for this style of game. We really don't need it. So your pretty basic resolution, full screen VSync, gamma, your brightness, how bright things are going to be, and then screen size here is to make sure the screen fits very nicely into your monitor using whatever aspect ratio you're using. So that's good. Audio settings, some basic audio stuff, subtitles on or off. Voiceover, I think you guys are going to enjoy the voiceover. If you don't know who that is yet, stay tuned. See if you can pinpoint the voice. Does it sound familiar? From one of my favorite games of all time. Vibration, camera shake, your language, and then of course restore defaults. One little quick thing I want to spend a minute to discuss or share with you guys was, how sweet is this? This is the game director's pet rats. And some of the characters in the game are named after them. I thought that was so sweet that they kind of like immortalized and put a memoriam in a game for lost pets. That's so sweet. Just wanted to share that. Touching, right? Touching. Alright, let's jump into the game. Let's get started here. Let's see the gameplay. What is it all about? Let's do this.
For centuries and longer, rats have fought tirelessly to repel the incessant frog invasions.
Who is that? Come on.
This was only ever short-lived.
That's my man Doug. That's Geralt of Rivia. The real, the one Geralt of Rivia. Alright? From my favorite game, favorite single-player game, The Witcher 3. I know. How unique, right? The Witcher 3 is your favorite game. What can I say? It's amazing. But they got him! They got him to voice the narrator, and the narrator will talk throughout the game, and the storytelling is excellent. And I'm probably ruining for you by talking, but I don't want to spoil it too much for you. But let's jump to the gameplay. So as you're playing the game, you're going to talk to cute little rat creatures that will talk to you with no dialogue. Take a look at this. You have to kind of decipher what they're trying to tell you a little bit, but it's pretty damn easy. Take a look at this first conversation. This is how the game starts. It's morning. Good morning, right? Get dressed, bro. Change your clothes. Get suited for war, bro. We gotta go kill some things. That's pretty much what he's telling him.
Woke him with this god-awful noise. The young prince was dreaming about this day, just like he had for months. Now it was here. He better be ready.
How awesome is the narrator? It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, the game will have gear, inventory, stuff like this. So this is your inventory screen, right? Or your stats screen, I guess, your equipment screen. And then on your left, you're going to have all of our stats. You see defense, and then various resistances to types of enemies. So it's not like fire, ice resist, it's like enemy resistance. So when frogs hit you, if your frog resist is higher, you'll take less damage, right? Then we have our weight, and then our damage amounts. So you see one-handed, and then there's two blank ones. I'm not gonna... You can guess. Maybe there's a two-handed? You'll see. So, our equipment. We're going to start putting it on. You're going to see our defense go up, and then, of course, our weight will go up as well if you take a look at the bottom left. Hopefully I'm not blocking it too much. But take a look at the frog resistance there. How it goes up a ton because of this piece of armor. That's like a really good piece. And then our shield, our defense goes up a ton. And then we're going to put on our weapon. You'll see this This weapon weighs less than this one, but this one does a fair amount more damage, right? The one-handed goes up. So, and then you'll get axes, you'll get spears, and then there will be other weapon types as well that will be in these 2 slots as we unlock them. So, you will get to suit up, customize your equipment, prepare for war. Okay, we're finally gonna kill something, I promise. Let's go kill some things. So I'm not gonna spoil the story for you, but I'm gonna give you, this is the very, very beginning of the game. Soon after that previous scene, you're gonna find yourself in a situation like this, where your mortal enemies, these frog dudes, have besieged your kingdom, and it's up to you to get revenge and push them back. So we're in these sewers here, and we're killing these little enemies. We block the arrows from those frog dudes, and you'll be able to loot supplies, let's call it, from, and sometimes equipment like this. I'm going to go ahead and equip that headband. From the enemies you kill, from the barrels you break, you'll find supplies. So I'm getting some arrows now, and I'm chopping up the parts of this bug here to get myself some more supplies. Now, at the top left, you're going to notice that yellow orb there and the green bar. The green bar is obviously our health, and the yellow orb there is bug juice. I'm serious, bug juice. And this thing I said on here allows us to save. So we just sit on the bench, it'll save the game. Now, I'm going to cut through these vines here, and I'm going to pick up that bottle there. That's more bug juice. You can see that yellow orb at the top left? Fill up. And that allows us to heal. So if I hold this button here, I can drink. But I have to hold to really use it, right? So you have to hold and drink and try not to die in combat if you're trying to heal while you're fighting. So it becomes like a challenge. Think almost like Dark Souls Estus Flask usage, but instead of using it in one use, you have to hold it. Counter. There we go. So I'll hold it and fill up my health bar there. I'm going to go ahead and butcher this corpse. And let's see what I get. So more bug juice. That yellow orb filled up a little bit more because we obviously got it from the bug we killed, right? Apparently rats love bug juice. I don't know. They eat bugs, right? Alright, we got ourselves a key and we're going to make our way back. But I'm going to jump ahead now. I'm going to jump a little bit further in the game so you can see a little bit more gear and what some of the other battles look like. Sound good? Let's do that. So we're a little further in the game now. We got ourselves some gear that we're wearing. Found it. We're going to go ahead and cut some vines here so we can proceed on. I'm going to tell you a little bit about combat. So we got ourselves a bug over there, right? I'm going to show you the difference between swings. So I'm going to tap this right shoulder button here, whatever you want to call it, and you'll notice that he'll do like a bit of a lunge. But if I hold, the lunge is a bit further. And we can use that to our advantage to thrust forward at enemies that are in a more vulnerable state, like right after they attack, such as that, and inflict some damage. Now I gotta watch out for these guys because they dig underground, but it'll leave them stunned for a while, I guess, as they're recovering from their attack. So there it is. So he's done. We have a second one here. Same thing. And we do a little bit of additional damage if we hold the right click. So I usually use it like that. Avoid an attack, get further away, and then thrust in by holding the right click, and you get a much further jump. So these are, in my opinion, the more simpler enemies to fight, the bugs, and the more advanced ones are the ones with a brain, right? The ones that got weapons, shields, bows, arrows, and let's move ahead with some additional equipment. I like my spear. I'm going to equip a spear, and we're going to go fight some of those, what are frogs, amphibians? Let's go kill some of those amphibians. Is that right? Reptile? I don't know, let's go. So here I am with a fellow rat buddy here. We're going to go kill us some frogs. Some amphibians. They're not reptiles. I looked that up. So this is one of the frog dudes that just cracked the crap out of me. That's not good. Yeah, I love those little finishing fatality type things. You can get loot from them. Ooh, he dropped an axe. So I was messing around with the spear for a little bit, but looks like I just got an upgrade with an axe. Alright. I've never seen this drop here. Alright, so a little bit further on, we're gonna get something special. One of my favorites, the two-handed weapon. We have a two-handed axe here. So we see our one-hander, our two-hander. Now, I really like this game's simplistic approach to Using a one-hander versus using a two-hander. I'm going to show you a controller real quick. D-pad here, right? Right side, two-hander. Left side, one-hander. That's nothing special, right? Well, we actually don't even have to swap weapons. If we hit this right shoulder button, you're going to attack with your one-hander. If we hit the right trigger, two-hander. Very simple approach. One-handed swing, two-handed swing. You don't even have to swap weapons manually. You don't have to do that. And you can still block with a two-hander as well, just like you can with a shield. Now let's go fight with this two-hander. See how it does. It will do a heck of a lot more damage. Counter. And it works really well against people with shields. It'll, like, kind of knock them back. Like that. It'll knock them down, which is very, very good. Lets you get a heck of a lot of openings on them. There we go. Counter. Now, you can charge up the attack with a two-hander like you see me doing. This is a quick swing. And this is going to be a charged up one. If he blocks it, it would knock him down. Like that. So two-handed weapons work really well against enemies with shields. Ooh, he got me. Come on, let's take this guy out. He's almost done. Ooh, let's finish him. Let's do it. The beheading. So satisfying. So I don't want to spoil too much of the game, right? I'm trying to keep things under wrap, right? I don't want to spoil story, I don't want to spoil too many bosses, but I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you this. So this is like the Hunter's Lodge. You're going to get here at some point in the game, and we're going to go inside, right? And here we have our quest board, our bulletin board, however you want to look at it. And you will see that there are side quests available, and they're ranked by difficulty. The more stars they have, you see that little picture with the stars in there? The more stars they have, the more difficult they are. But of course, the greater the reward, right? So as with all videos on this channel, we pride ourselves at being honest, right? I love this game. It's great. Love it. I definitely recommend it for everyone. But there are some things in it that kind of irked me a little bit. Kind of bothered me just a bit. The jumping. The jumping in this game is scripted, almost, I guess you can call it. As you can see, I'm jumping the same exact distance every time. I can't... So if I jump, I can't pull myself to the other direction. So I'm going to jump to the left, and I'm going to try to pull myself to the right. And you can see, we'll jump this way, and I'll try to change my direction mid-jump. It's like a solid hop, and it'll always be the same distance. So it feels almost like restrictive, and I feel like there should be a jump attack associated with it. And unfortunately, we can't adjust the jumping, like trajectory or distance, and we don't get to attack from a jump. I was a little disappointed by that. And there's no secrets in this game pretty much at all. And I say pretty much because some things that I deem not a secret, others may deem it a secret. Like this, in my opinion, is not a secret. It's clear, you know, straight out in the open how you're going to do this. It's a really nice piece of gear. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my stash, but it's not a secret. And this, in my opinion, is not a secret either. It's like just clear as day, very simple where you got to go, and the map's telling you there is a path that leads right there. So if I go in that wall to that right, it's just going to lead me to the next zone. But there's no find the hidden secrets, you know, look out for this. And then the other thing, I guess I'm going to show you a third thing that kind of irked me just a little bit while we're fighting this enemy. The arrows. Ranged combat in this game, there's no aiming it at all. So I can't hold Y and, like, get a targeting type of, like, white line. That's what I was expecting. Like, you get, like, a little white line and you adjust it a little bit and then, you know, maybe you let go of Y and it looses the arrow, right? But, unfortunately, it's just... Did that enemy run away? It's just automated. And it locks on and it'll just shoot at enemies and it'll guarantee a hit if the enemy's in range. So it'll automatically just shoot at enemies for you, and that's just a little disappointing to me. I wish there was more of a way to, I don't know, put more of the aim in the player's hands. At least maybe you can include both, you know? One that, okay, it's going to be, I'm going to pick up some arrows here and I'll show you guys what I mean. So it'll automatically shoot at enemies as long as you're facing them. It'll shoot at them. So I didn't aim up at all there. It took care of it for me. And a little disappointed in that. I just feel like there should be a little bit more skill involved in that, especially when you're trying to shoot an enemy and you can't really judge when the auto-aim is going to take effect, you know? I would love to see an enemy across the map for a very far distance and just be like, okay, I'm going to aim and it's just, I'm gonna take the drop into account and I'm gonna hit him. Or if an enemy's blocking with a shield, being able to aim just above the shield and hit him right in the eye socket or something, I would like to see that. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So the game's not perfect, but it is damn good. As you progress through the game, your village will start to kind of come back to life. Rat folk will move back in, set up shop, set up stalls. The marketplace will open. You can come here and trade. Buy stuff, buy prints, which I've been spending a lot of my currency on. As you can see, I have 8 of them, which is very important. I'm going to show you exactly what those are used for. But this place starts to come back to life. They start to fix it up a little bit, and it's your job to help make that happen. I'm going to show you exactly how. So, when we complete quests, we get ourselves some gold coins, let's call them, right? That's what they are, gold coins. And we're going to teleport over here to this Crimson Fort. That's kind of like our headquarters, right? Our throne room. And we have our most trusted advisors and such over there. We're going to go over there, and we are going to pay them to kind of like commission stuff to repair. So, as you complete side quests, you get more gold coins. You're going to want to come back here, because obviously this place is still a freaking mess. But we're going to pay this guy who's looking for 8 coin. We're going to pay him, and he's going to get to work. He's going to hire his dudes, and they're going to fix up the kitchen so he can cook some good meals. And that's very important, because with those meals...
Frog scum was hungry work. If he could find more ingredients, the chef might make him a feast fit for a king.
Ooh, so I got a ton of gear from that, which is cool. Oh, I got an achievement for that too, because they added achievements. And we're going to go walk into this kitchen here. We're going to go sit down at the table. And you can see there's recipes over here. And every time you complete one of these recipes, it increases your max health. Very important. So you'll be on the hunt for ingredients now that you have your kitchen back. And you're going to increase your survivability, right? You're not going to get 1 or 2 shot anymore. Which can happen depending on the gear you're wearing. As you progress through the game, your village will start to kind of come back to life. Rat folk will move back in, set up shop, set up stalls. The marketplace will open. You can come here and trade. Buy stuff, buy prints, which I've been spending a lot of my currency on. As you can see, I have 8 of them, which is very important. I'm going to show you exactly what those are used for. But this place starts to come back to life. They start to fix it up a little bit, and it's your job to help make that happen. I'm going to show you exactly how. So, when we complete quests, we get ourselves some gold coins, let's call them, right? That's what they are, gold coins. And we're going to teleport over here to this Crimson Fort. That's kind of like our headquarters, right? Our throne room. And we have our most trusted advisors and such over there. We're going to go over there, and we are going to pay them to kind of like commission stuff to repair. So, as you complete side quests, you get more gold coins. You're going to want to come back here, because obviously this place is still a freaking mess. But we're going to pay this guy who's looking for 8 coin. We're going to pay him, and he's going to get to work. He's going to hire his dudes, and they're going to fix up the kitchen so he can cook some good meals. And that's very important, because with those meals...
Frog scum was hungry work. If he could find more ingredients, the chef might make him a feast fit for a king.
Ooh, so I got a ton of gear from that, which is cool. Oh, I got an achievement for that too, because they added achievements. And we're going to go walk into this kitchen here. We're going to go sit down at the table. And you can see there's recipes over here. And every time you complete one of these recipes, it increases your max health. Very important. So you'll be on the hunt for ingredients now that you have your kitchen back. And you're going to increase your survivability, right? You're not going to get 1 or 2 shot anymore. Which can happen depending on the gear you're wearing. Eventually, you're going to earn enough gold to rebuild the smith. Which is amazing, because now we can come here and give him the blueprints that he's seeking. What do those blueprints do? Well, it's a bit of a randomized system here, where we just hit A. Oh look, you got yourself a mace. I'm gonna craft, and craft, and craft, and craft, and craft, and we're making a whole ton of gear. Simple enough, right? And then we come on over to our chest of goodies. We could take a look at all the nice stuff we got. What is that? What is that helmet? Okay. But yeah, we got a whole ton of stuff that we just crafted. So take a look around. Take a look at your gear after you unlock the Forge Master or the Armorer or Smithy, whatever you want to call this dude. Because you will get a hell of a lot of equipment. There's a lot in this game. There's like over 200 unique pieces. So a lot of stuff to gather. A lot of stuff to equip, mix and match, make your own build. Alright. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look at Tales of Iron. We're going to jump to our final portion of this video now. We're going to jump to our pros, cons, and final thoughts. Let's do this. The pros, cons, and final thoughts for Tales of Iron. The combat is challenging, it feels rewarding, and it's fulfilling. When you succeed, it's fulfilling. Nobody likes dying, right? But if you die like once or twice on a boss and you finally take him down, it feels good. It feels great when you finally take down that boss and there's like a cool execution at the end, just running him through with a spear or something like that, or caving his head in with a hammer. That sounds kind of brutal, huh? But the game does have some brutal moments. I mean, look at that rat. The sword on the guy. Like, it feels good. And I ask you a question. I got a question for you. Have you ever played a game where, like, it's got those executions when you kill enemies, and it just gets, like, boring, and it's like a 5-second slowdown, you're like, oh, alright, come on, like, I've seen this execution like 10 times. This game, Tales of Iron, does not have this problem, and it does it quite well where it doesn't break up the flow of combat. It doesn't slow up the combat and be like, oh, look at this bullet time, slow motion kill, and it doesn't get overplayed. So, I really like it, the executions are cool, the combat feels great, and, like, timing of, like a well-timed parry, you know, knocking an enemy down and then slamming his head in with a hammer, like, it feels good, and that's one of the most important things about the game, and that's why it's the first pro. The gameplay and combat feels great. The voice acting is incredible. As always from Doug Cockle, he is the voice of Geralt of Rivia. He does a fantastic job in this game, and he's the narrator, if you haven't caught on. And I don't know what it is about games with narrators that constantly talk to you as you play it, but it's so good. I'm just thinking of like Bastion, where like you're playing through the game and it doesn't break up the story, and the same thing applies to Tales of Iron. I'm sorry, it doesn't break up the combat and the exploration, and it applies to Tales of Iron there. Well, like you're moving through the world and he's just talking to you and he's explaining the story, and it's so easy to take it in, you know? You're not sitting there just listening to dialogue while you can't move, you can't do any character interaction, you're just sitting there kind of waiting for it to finish. Which is fine as well, but it's just different when it's coming from a narrator while you're still playing. And it's really well done in Tales of Iron, and I cannot praise it enough. It is extremely well done, and the story is well written. So, with the voice acting and the next point, the story being quite damn good, it's a beautiful combination, and it works so well. So I really, really, really recommend this. If you're into stories, you're into good stories, you really appreciate good voice acting, Tales of Iron checks those boxes, I'm telling you. Side quests. There's plenty of side quests in the game for you to explore and do and complete and get rewards from, and new gear and currency, and there's plenty of them to do. So if you're that type of dude like I am, like completing all the side quests in the game, completionist type of thing, that will be in here for you. And there is tons of gear to obtain. There's like over 200 pieces of gear, so there's a lot of combinations you can do, and you know, maybe you go with like 2 heavy weapons and a heavy ranged weapon that they're really heavy and they do a lot of damage, but you don't want to be too heavy and screw up your rolls, so you wear very light armor. So you're dishing out crazy damage, but you take a lot of damage. So you can do that glass cannon type of build, or you can do super tanky build and say, I don't care, I'm going to do the most damage, and I'm going to be slow as hell, but I'm going to take very little damage. You can do that. So there's a lot of combinations out there. And I love the art. The zone design and the 2.5D type of design when it comes to the zones, like the depth we get there, like that. And that's my wording on it, that 2.5D. And I've seen other devs call it that before, and I think that's a good description for it, where it's like you got that depth to the background and the foreground, and it just looks so good. And I really, really, really suggest you guys take that in. If you're playing the game, like, take a look at the background while you're playing, and just notice the detail they put into it, and it's impressive. I like seeing it. Moving on to the cons, there's no New Game Plus. And this is why it's at the top of my cons list. I like the game so much, which is a pro, that I wish there was a reason to go through it again. So I'm hoping the game sells really well, and the devs are just like, you know what? Let's throw some quality of life patches out there. Let's throw some content patches. Let's throw some New Game Plus up in here. I hope. Maybe New Game Plus where it's like mixed mode, where like enemies that you normally don't face until like the end of the game or in the very beginning, and it's a much harder experience, but you get to take all your gear with you, and I don't know. My brain's running. I'd love to see that. No secrets. I don't consider anything in the game as a secret. It's pretty cut and dry what you're looking for. There's really no secrets in the game, unless they're so well hidden I didn't find any. But that's not the case. There's really none. It might be like a minor thing that someone would be like, well, that's kind of a secret. I just wish there was more. The only real form of progression is the gear. Now, the gear is, like I mentioned before, there's a ton of it. There's some good combinations and stuff. There's a ton of gear. But there's nothing beyond that. There's nothing like, okay, you get your gear and then you spend your experience or your souls or whatever you get. There's nothing like that to like spend another currency to like increase your strength and your dexterity and your... There's nothing in that form. So it's just gear, which I thought was a little... maybe a little bit bland in terms of progression, but it's okay. It's okay. It's definitely not to the point where I'm really upset with how your character progresses, because it does feel like you're getting stronger as you progress through the game, as you're getting badass gear, you know, it feels good. But I just wish there was like one extra way to progress, either talents or spend your souls type of thing. Like there was some sort of currency for that. The weapons, they feel very similar regardless of what you use. You use a sword and an axe and a spear, they feel pretty similar. So maybe the only one that kind of stands out a little bit is the spear a little bit, just like it feels like it's got a little bit extra range, but that's really it. And it just feels very similar amongst all the weapon types. And I just, I wish there was a little bit more variety in it. And, yeah, I guess that's really all I got to say about it. And that's with the one-handed and two-handed weapons. They just feel pretty damn similar. And the jumping, I know I went over that a little bit. It just feels a little restrictive. And I just question why that was what they went with. Like, I was thinking maybe the jumping would be a little bit more freeform, where you can kind of pick where you're going to land, and maybe there'd be a jumping attack, and maybe he'd jump a little higher or something. I don't know. Just feels a little bit restrictive. But the final thoughts. Tales of Iron brings much-needed quality story and voice acting to the side-scrolling action-adventure genre. Rats, frogs, that's pretty damn unique, and it's nice to see something different rather than the constant dark and demonic approach to this genre, which isn't bad, but I want something new, and this game brings it. With satisfying combat, a deep story, unique characters, and a beautiful world, Tales of Iron is definitely worth buying and comes with a very high recommendation. Pick this one up, guys. It's pretty damn good. So I hope you enjoyed our look at Tales of Iron, and if you liked our content, please throw us a like and a sub. I really appreciate that. It does a lot for us, and it definitely motivates me to keep the content coming. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Skit!